such a conflict where you have one party which has very limited financial and military capabilities against a party which is fairly strong in terms of military forces. And this is, in order to be successful in such regards, is what you have to make the best out of the ability that you know the terrain, that you go into hiding, and that you choose where you engage the enemy. This is where it all comes down to. As a guerrilla force, your big advantage is you are very hard to be seen. You are hidden. And this cloaking ability, so to speak, gives you the advantage of striking wherever you want, with the strength you want, and and where the enemy least expects you to strike. However, these things can turn very bad if you overstay your welcome. Okay, so this is where we are on the map right now. For the first part, I'm going to just give each team a small, very defined scenario. The scenario is the same for all three teams. What you have to do is you have to ambush or engage an outpost. A military outpost, very small, not much there. And what you have to do is you have to take down the guys. There will be no actual reinforcements. However, I'll give you time. The timer is 5 minutes. It's very stiff and it's very limited. Within the 5 minutes, you need to commence your attack. You need to take out all the enemies at your specific outpost without losing anybody. And you need to go back into hiding. So out of sight of this post, back into a position where you can retreat from. So before we start, I'm quickly going through this scenario with you in a theory level, and then you're playing the scenario shortly afterwards. So before you do any engagement, as I've said before, it's all about your logistics. It's all about your strategy. Plan your attack. The better it's planned, the more decisive you are able to pull it off. So you have three phases pretty much that you need to divide this ambush or the attack into. The phase number one is the pre-planning phase. What do you need? Where do you need to be? Do you look at the terrain, see what kind of possibilities you have from terrain? What kind of enemy would you probably face? How many units do you have yourself? What is your mobility? And how can you put this to good use? Phase number two is the actual attack phase. That includes the immediate pre-attack phase, which means like when you are on the ground, when you are going to the position on the map that you've selected previously, is that really like you've chosen it to be? Is it are the advantages and disadvantages? Are you in the high ground? Are you on the low ground? How can you retreat later on? And then the execution phase, which then basically should have a primary and one or several secondary plans, like plan A, plan B, because anything could fail, and you need to have a contingency plan and possibility to make something happen if the primary thing fails. Elite forces or very good forces usually automatically change between the plans. For you, it's all right if you just have something in the back of your head. What happens if I'm not able to engage quickly? When do I pull the line and get everybody out of there? So in this execution phase, the leader of the team needs to have one eye on the enemy and on his units and see how they're doing, and a second eye on the time at all time. Because you need to be able to determine, okay, now is the time we need to go. No matter how much damage we have inflicted, in order to leave before reinforcements come or before the enemy is getting too decisive, we need to make the ability to get back to our exfiltration zone. So for the first small task that all of you will get, you will have to basically get into an attack position, and then you have 5 minutes to commence and execute the attack. And after the attack has been successful, you basically fall to your previous location and give me short information over the text channel, and then I'll teleport you back. We're going to start right there at the airfield. This will also be the debrief for each mission, and yeah, that's going to be pretty much it from my end. Any questions before we start?
Is each team on its own, or are we acting together, or?
Each team will be completely on its own, and the reason why I do this is why I give you individual tasks and small elements, because I want each team to have the same opportunity to practice this. Practicing with multiple teams, synchronization is something I want to do at the later stage once we have covered all the basics. So yeah, key aspect is finding good attack position, execute, and retreat within time. That's pretty much what you have to do for the first round. Okay?
How do we control execution and timing and all that?
Inacreditável, meu.
Basically, what you have to do is we're gonna do one. Okay, let's do a quick test scenario. I'll show you how this works. So let's do the scenario on the map. I'm gonna make a marker.
Foda-se, meu.
Let's pretend this is an as you see it, it's around 0.5. No, don't.
No copy.
Once we're ready.
Hold on a second, I'll do it in another channel.
Change group.
Okay, I make a marker called target. Okay.
Copy.
So this is your target, alright? So at the beginning, before you choose any target, of course you have to know certain things like what are the kind of enemies you expect there. Let's say we have a handful of infantry, five guys around, maybe fighting, maybe one or two guys more. They are guarding the compound. Your target is to make a quick ambush onto this area, kill everybody inside, and immediately withdraw. It is up to you where you need to start from. The reinforcements would come from Chernogorsk, so they would come from the low ground. What you need to look for is which is your approach vector, which is your retreat vector. Look on the map in itself, what kind of cover positions do you find, which would be a favorable way to go to, and where do you expect enemies to come from. First of all, you look for the cartography of the map, like high and low grounds and hills. What you see immediately is that this target is being placed on a hill itself. However, it seems that there's a hilltop straight west of the position that can give you some sort of attack angle, but it is within 100 meters, so it's very, very close to the target.
Also dense forest.
Advantage and disadvantage at the same time. You can sneak up very, very close to the target to execute. Disadvantage, of course, is you have very limited eyes on the target prior to your actual engagement. You can send an advanced team to the further north that might be able to watch the target from another hilltop, which is about 20-30 meters higher than the actual target, but that might be difficult to do. In any case, if that is what the scenario is, the preferred attack vector will be from the west, through the forest until the high ground and engage on close proximity. That also tells you immediately which kind of weapons you probably want to choose for this engagement. And then exactly, and then withdraw to the same position. Where are the risks? The risks are the enemies that could come from Chernogorsk. What you see is there's a road leading up, so that pretty much gives you the possible road for the enemies to move into. Again, when you look at it, you have also eyes on this road, so you can see if vehicles coming from that area before they actually arrive at the target. Limited view to the north, that could give you trouble over that angle. But in general, this would the ability to move to the target is very good. You can move in very, very fast, very close to the target without having to cover a lot of open ground. And you can also retreat either to the north or to the west. For the execution phase, for the planning of the execution phase, you would set some sort of ERP, that is emergency rendezvous position, for those of you who don't know what it is. The ERP gives you a fallback position that everyone goes to automatically when you call it out. Make the ERP in a way that is not too close to the target, but it is also in a way that gives you the opportunity to create some sort of a second ambush if needed, or a defensive position if the enemy is chasing you, so the first people arriving at the ERP can lay down cover fire for the rest of the team if that's need be, and at the same time the ERP needs to give you an opportunity to fall back even further. So I made one of the points. It is to the edge of the ridge line, and where there are some trees on the ground, it might look a bit differently, so you put your ERP while you're moving. The lead who sees like this is a really good ERP, makes a marker here, informs everybody this is where we need to go when we fall back. When you do fall back later on, you rendezvous at the ERP and then you fall back further on to the west. Any further questions?
One that has nothing to do with that, but where should I go?
Choose one of the three teams. They're equally in numbers right now. And join the team as heavy weapons, for example. I would say that's most preferred position.
Okay.
Heavy gunner.
Heavy gunner, yeah. And then, just join
Thank
on.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is pretty much it, right? This is the mission you have to do. There is no further objectives. I'm going to tell you now where the missions take place, and that is target number 1. That is target number 2.
That's kind of close to each other.
They are really close to each other, but the enemies will not leave their position. They will be defined inside the target area itself, and each team just chooses its own path to go in, kill the guys, and then fall back. It's just the very first training effort I want to do with you guys.
Copy, lobby.
Okay. Yeah, I think that might work. Or do you think they might be able to? No, if you put them close enough, I don't think.
But you're restricting our ability to choose angle in.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take target 1 here. Where do I take target? Otherwise, I'll have to teleport, which wouldn't be that bad, but I'll try to avoid teleportation as much as possible. Okay, I'll tear on. Oops, sorry. Target 2 is this little baby right here, and target 3, I have a nice place where I want you. Do you know where the mine is? There's a really nice mine. Oh, there it is.
To the east.
Okay, these are the targets. The spawning locations I'll put later for you guys, and once you're on the ground. The entire scenario must not take longer than, let's say, 15 minutes. And 5 minutes on the execution phase. But before you start the execution, I want each team to give me the execution.
To give you the plan?
No, to just tell me that you're executing, so I can state the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is pretty much it. And yeah, each team will be deployed individually, of course. And yeah, try to do this as fast as possible. And the execution itself, this is where the focus is. So be fast, be swift, and immediately draw back when you've done that. And then the next mission will build on this one. All right, let's go. One more thing that you need to know is there are around 5 to 6 guys at each target. You should be 3 to 4 people in each team. Target is to kill each person within the target area. There will be on defensive or on occupied buildings. So there might be inside buildings or moving outside the building. They are very close to the target. Area will be not more than 100 square meters. You all copy?
Copy.
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 I mean, we're quite far apart from each other, but let's go to radio channels. SF1, 1, SF2, SF3, 3.
Yeah, go.
Hey, Vic, where are you?
Vic is over here.
Okay.
we
To do
are
that, Vic, hold Control Shift and hit X, and you'll have a radio come up. At the top 2 dials, the left dial, click it with the left mouse on the bus. 1, so it'll come up with a little white dot. That's channel 2. Just checking. Vic, you can hear me? Where did we get teleported to? Ah, there, okay. Oh, where does this look like? Right, okay. So, I would say our plan of attack here is either from the building at 26, which gives us a 20-meter height, which is that one, or alternatively pull up onto the high hills, onto the high ridge at the edge of this tree line here at AP2. Our retreat out of this is the same. If we go up this hill, we'll be very slow going up towards, say, Pusta. So our vector is going to be the same way as we come in, and we will use our first ERP going to likely be somewhere there, which will give us a yeah, that is in group. That will give us our first sort of openish sort of ground through this, following these sort of line. Be an appropriate place to set up further ambush if we need to. And then our retreat vector is off towards the southeast-east.
The exfil point was the point we started at, instead of exfil now. Teleport post is all exfil.
This is